Welcome to a Prevent Connect podcast, where we explore the prevention of violence against women. This is a project of the California Coalition Against Sexual Assault.
Without further ado, I want to bring up our first presenter, Liz Zadnik from the New Jersey Coalition Against Sexual Assault. Talking to us about community readiness and how it can help us develop more effective prevention programming.
So I'd like to start off by just sharing a journey I've been on for the past few years. This topic is really near and dear to me. I love it very much, and I'm really humbled to be up here with the brilliant speakers and to share all this information with you all. I have nothing but respect for everybody in this room. So it's a big day for me. But it started in Pennsylvania when I was at the Coalition, and we were exploring some ways to create safer campus communities and address some of the systemic issues that were happening that were preventing survivors from getting the resources that they needed, and also stalling some of the change efforts that were happening or trying to happen on campus. We wanted to create something that would tap into the skills of preventionists, like active listening and compassionate advocacy, while also cultivating meaningful community engagement. So we explored a number of tools and approaches because we really wanted to discover what it meant to truly listen to our communities and get their perspective on change and what was really needed. So we kept asking ourselves, what does it mean to listen? We needed a guide for this trip. We needed something that would help us move forward with confidence. So here's a beautiful resource. This wonderful community readiness manual was designed with preventionists in Pennsylvania and really talented collaborators. I like to think of this as our travel app. So it's our itinerary, our map, our packing checklist, all in one. This resource was inspired and guided by the incredible work of the Tri-Ethnic Center in Colorado, and helped us create a tool that spoke to social change processes at all the different community levels and sub-levels. So preventionists were familiar with individual levels of readiness, or the trans-theoretical model, so this framework fit really well with how they were already kind of intrinsically approaching prevention work. And we now had something that would shift our paradigm a little bit more and think about community level change. This trip is and has been really exciting for me. It's one that's been filled with surprises that make me feel like a beginner every day, which I love and is a very good thing. Again, very humbling experience. Preparing for this journey means having a sense of what makes communities tick, so to speak. And levels of readiness and dimensions of readiness help us have a sense of what's going to be involved on this trip. We just don't know all of the details yet, since communities bring their own assets, resources, and challenges. As you all know, they're incredibly unique. Even within one state, there's not one community that's like another. So we have to think about what we're packing on our trip. We need to be able to listen to community leaders, stakeholders, and gatekeepers to gather their informed perspectives on sexual violence and sexual violence prevention. We're going to be talking to folks who know what sexual violence is, so it's a little bit different than a population-based survey. It's a smaller group, but again, it's these folks are in the know. They're speaking our language. So we talk to a smaller group. And I also wanted to just give you a taste of some of the questions and kind of why we included them. So the first is, what makes this community a special place to teach, to work, to live, and to learn? What drew you here? Who or what makes you feel welcome and give you a sense of belonging? This is the very first question on that community readiness assessment of the manual that I showed earlier. We wanted it to be a strengths-based question because we wanted to set a very specific tone, and one that acknowledged all of the assets that the community brings to the table. We didn't have the solution. We didn't have any recommendations to offer. We wanted to truly listen. People generally believe victims? Do you hear victim supportive or victim blaming statements? This question tries to get at climate. What about perpetrator accountability, and what's going to be the tone of sexual violence prevention efforts? Basically, how bumpy is this ride or this trip going to be for us? And then one of my favorite questions is, imagine yourself as actively involved in a community of responsibility, one that took ownership for challenging the social norms that allow sexual violence to continue. Who specifically would you want to participate with you? Who should be leaders in this community and on this issue? And this is, again, trying to get at who needs to be at the table, and as we take this journey together, as we go on this adventure, who do we want to welcome in to our team? And this is really exciting because it gives us a nice picture to look at as we move forward. It's very hopeful, it keeps folks engaged. And so for folks who know me at all, you know my love of evaluation. So this stage in community readiness is my favorite part. It involves like scoring and coding and things like that. So we get a chance to assess where we've been and where we're going. I know, I feel the love, I feel it. So the interviews are coded and assigned or given a score on a 9-point scale. Nobody gets a 0 because we believe that everybody has something to offer. And this isn't your final score, right? This is something as a starting point. According to the score, we can set observable and achievable goals and ideas for programming that make sense with what we've done so far. We want every part of this trip to feel successful and relevant, and we don't want to be off course when we have so many other things that are pulling us in different directions with our precious time. This is where we get to step back and enjoy the progress that we've made. We get to take a beat and enjoy the view. We've made a decision to embark on this adventure together, and we need to kind of feel good about what needs to fuel us moving forward. So, finally, what's the best part about taking a trip, other than the trip itself? It's pictures, right? The pictures that you get to show everybody. We get to share all of the snapshots of the places that we got to go and the memories that we made. And the community readiness assessment is our photo album or our Instagram feed, depending on how you like to categorize your pictures or archive them. We can share these moments with community partners and also use them as a way to gauge our growth over time. So not only are community readiness assessments wonderful social change tools, but they are also evaluation tools. So it's really, you can just tell how much I love it. So thank you so much. I hope that I was within my time. Fantastic. And I hope you'll join me for the roundtable discussion. I can't wait to hear about what you all can bring to community readiness assessments.
Thank you for listening to this Prevent Connect podcast. Prevent Connect is a project of the California Coalition Against Sexual Assault, with funding from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The views presented on Prevent Connect are not necessarily the views of the United States government, the CDC, or CalCASA. To learn more about Prevent Connect, visit www.preventconnect.org. For more information about CalCASA's mission, or to show your support, visit calcasa.org. That's CalCasa.org.